Nikola Tesla was one of the greatest and maybe the smartest scientists in history. A genius the world understood way too late. Why wasn't he as famous as his inventions? A man who led up the world. Why did he have to suffer in poverty and be forgotten? He was a silent hero, lost in a world full of inventions. Nikola Tesla was born at the midnight on July 10, 1856, in a small village called Cjbeards. At that time, it was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Today, it is in Croatia. His father, Milutin Tesla, was a priest and a writer. He wanted his son to become a priest too, just like him. His mother was a literate woman, but she had an incredible gift, a powerful memory and extraordinary creativity. She used her creativity to invent sample tools and devices to help with the work at home. Tesla always said, "I inherited my technical talent from my mother." At the school where Tesla studied, students had to read the songbook many times to memorize it. But Tesla was different. He had powerful photographic memory. He could memorize a book after reading it just once. He could also solve complex math problems in his head without writing anything down. It was so unusual that some teachers thought he was cheating. Tesla entered the Polytechnic Institute in Graz, Austria in 1855. He was a young man with an incredibly sharp mind and an intense hunger for knowledge. According to him, he studied for 20 years a day. During his first term, he didn't smoke, didn't drink coffee, and didn't spend even a moment on fun or relaxation. His professors were stunned by his memory and analytical abilities. Tesla was so dedicated studying that his professors warned his father, saying that if he kept pushing himself like this, it might break him. One day, all the students were in the electrical engineering class. The professor was showing them the DC motor, the direct current motor. DC or direct current means electricity flows in only one direction. It's a type of power used in things like phone batteries, laptops, power banks, and flashlights. Simply put, in direct current DC, electricity always flows from the positive to the negative pole. Back then, DC motors use brushes made of carbon to operate. And in that classroom, the thought struck Tesla. Why do these motors need brushes? Isn't it possible to build a motor without friction and sparks? That's when the idea of a different kind of current, AC, was born in his mind. So, what is an AC motor? An AC motor takes alternating current, or AC electricity, and turns it into mechanical rotation. It's used to spin things like fans, water pumps, washing machines, and thousands of other devices. In short, AC power is the same electricity we get from the outlets in our homes. Instead of drawing his inventions by hand, Tesla would build a complete image of them in his mind. He could rotate the parts in his head, simulate how they moved, and even fix design mistakes, all without ever building a real model. He once said, "I build my inventions in my mind first. If they work well there, only then do I start building them." After years of thinking, in 1882, while walking through the street of Budapest, Tesla suddenly had the idea. What if we send AC electricity into coils? And instead of using friction, we create the rotating magnetic field to make things move. A motor with no physical contact, no brushes, no sparks, powered only by magnetism. Something similar to an armature, but far more advanced. And finally, in 1887, Tesla built the first working model of this motor in New York. He had invented the first AC motor. After that, big companies like Westinghouse began to support him. That motor would later become the heart of the global electricity. But before building it, Tesla made the bold decision. Due to serious conflicts with his professors and financial struggles, he dropped out of university. With only 4 cents in his pocket and a dream to power the entire world, he arrived in New York in 1884, and somehow he turned that dream into reality. A strange and powerful event happened in Tesla's life when he was just 17. He fell seriously ill, so sick that doctors believed he wouldn't survive. At the time, his father insisted that Tesla become a priest. But knowing how deeply his son loved engineering, he made a promise. If Tesla recovered, he would let him become an engineer. That promise gave Nikola hope, and almost like a miracle, he pulled through. But Tesla's inventions also caused problems for him. At that time, Thomas Edison was one of the greatest inventors in history. He had managed to launch a DC electricity system in New York City. Tesla first went to Edison and worked for him, but soon serious disagreements grew between them. Edison was a strong supporter of DC power, while Tesla believed in AC power and thought it was the future. And because Edison saw that his company's profits depended on DC power, he began trying to ruin Tesla's reputation. He told people that AC electricity was dangerous and deadly. He even electrocuted dogs and cats in public using AC power, just to scare people. They even built the first electric chair using AC power, not for efficiency, but to make people fear it. This rivalry became known as the War of the Currents, and it caused Tesla to stay in the shadow of Edison's fame. Have you ever wondered why he never became as famous as his inventions? Inventors are always after profits, and it was the same back then. Many of Tesla's ideas were way ahead of their time. Wireless electricity, long-distance power transmission, and even making electricity free for everyone. But investors like JP Morgan, one of the biggest names in the energy industry, who helped create companies like General Electric and US Steel, were only interested in money. And because Tesla's vision didn't match their goals, they pulled their support and left him behind. Tesla was passionate about inventing, but he wasn't a businessman or a politician. In a time when success meant knowing how to sell, Tesla just wanted to think and build. And because of that, many people ended up patenting his inventions under their own names. Some of his greatest projects were destroyed or forgotten. In fact, some even called him crazy, because back then, ideas like global internet or wireless power sounded insane. Tesla also had some wild ideas during World War II. One of them was the so-called Death Ray. He claimed he could build a weapon that used a powerful energy beam to destroy enemy planes and armies from a distance. Tesla even had an idea called energy defense wall, a kind of invisible shield made from electromagnetic waves that could block enemy attacks like a force field. Tesla also came up with the idea of wireless military communication, long before radio and wireless telegraph were actually used in war. And here's the strange part. After Tesla's death, the US government sent a team from the Office of Alien Property to seize all of his documents and equipment. There are even reports that the FBI and the military were searching for Tesla's mysterious weapon designs. Countries like England, the Soviet Union, and the United States showed interest in Tesla's ideas and even entered talks with him. But Tesla made it clear he would only give the design for the defray to a nation that would use it purely for defense, not attack. No official agreement was ever made between Tesla and any country. At that time, many places didn't even have electricity, let alone light bulbs. Yet Tesla managed to create a lamp that could light up without any wires. In the late 1890s, Tesla built a device called the Tesla coil. It could generate extremely high voltage and create a massive magnetic field. When Tesla had the gas lamp, like a neon or fluorescent tube near it, the lamp would glow without being connected to any wires. The energy was transferred through the air directly into the lamp. Other one Tesla's strange and lesser known inventions is something called the Tesla earthquake machine. This device vibrated at a very specific frequency. When Tesla attached it to a building or a structure, it resonated with the natural frequency of that building and made it shake like an earthquake. One time, he tested it on his own building in New York. The entire place began to tremble and neighbors panicked, thinking it was a real earthquake. The police even rushed to the scene, and Tesla quickly smashed the device himself to prevent any serious damage. Not many people know this, but Tesla was actually the first to come up with the idea of radar. Radar is a system that uses radio waves to detect the position, speed, and distance of objects like airplanes, ships, or missiles. In 1917, during World War I, Tesla suggested that electromagnetic waves could be used to locate ships from a long distance without needing light or physical contact. He even said that waves could bounce back from objects hidden in the dark. That's exactly how modern radar works today. At that time, Tesla seemed strange to politicians and inventors. Everyone was focused on building weapons, not on technology that could simply spot the enemy from far away. Tesla still pitched his idea to the US Department of Defense, but they turned it down. It wasn't until 20 years later during World War II that radar was finally invented, and only then did people realize what they had missed. To me, Tesla was a man who gave a gift to all of us. The gift of electricity, something that now reaches almost every corner of the world. Some people use electricity to cool themselves, and others use it to keep warm. Yes, this was the gift Tesla gave to the world. But in my opinion, in the final years of his life, Tesla was treated unfairly. He became lonely, and worse, he became poor. He lived in cheap hotels in New York City, spending most of his time alone. Out of his deep loneliness, he befriended pigeons. In fact, he even said that one of them was the love of his life. It's tragic to think that a man whose inventions powered homes everywhere was left completely alone. On January 7th, 1943, Tesla passed away quietly in room 3327 of a New York hotel. No one even noticed for days until hotel staff entered his room and found him lying silently on his bed, gone forever. How could a man who gives so much to humanity live this world in such loneliness? I felt it was my duty to remind everyone of the legacy of this great man, but deep down Tesla must have known that one day the world would finally recognize his work. I want to end this video with a quote from Nikola Tesla. I say goodbye.